So good morning and welcome back to Twin Stick Garage. So if you're new here, I'm just a regular old guy that has a love for old big rigs, and I can't get enough of them. I've actually got 3 of them here in my shop. This is my Peterbilt. There's an old cab over there that I'm working on. And right now this is my pride and joy. This is the project that's closest to being completed. It's a replica truck to the one used in the 1970s trucking movie, Smokey and the Bandit.
Universal presents Burt Reynolds, Sally Field, Jerry Reed, and Fred.
We're gonna really have to cook. I mean, put it on the back burner and let's cook. Is that a 10-4? 10-4.
So when I started building this truck, I only had intentions of getting the truck done, and it's come a long way. I'm pretty proud of how far it's come. Been on the hunt for a while now, and I think I finally got my project snowman. But then when I got far enough along on this project, I realized, well, you can't have the truck without the trailer. So there's the trailer. Now, if you're new here, you may not have seen the last episode, but I suggest going back, take a look. So my wrapper, Tony, from Beyond Vinyl Wraps, ended up putting this on there. It's actually about 12 individual panels that he put on there and pressed over all of those bumps and rivets. And I think it turned out just absolutely amazing. I mean, take a look close up. You can kind of see where the overlap is if you look close. But I mean, as you back away, it really looks like the one used in the Smokey and the Bandit film.
Cause we gotta run to make the boys are thirsty in Atlanta.
So with that, let's go ahead and get started, because there's still a few more things that need doing before we drag this thing down the road. Yeah. So yeah, Tony gave her all the way there in the last episode, and he actually got almost one whole side of this trailer done in a single day. But by the time he got to this last little strip, it was just getting too dark. So he thought, you know what, I'll shut her down. And he's gonna come back, obviously put that little piece on there, and then he's got to do the same thing here on the other side. So he's still got a bit of work ahead of him. And then of course, to try and make this a little more movie accurate, we still need to put a gold trim around the front of the trailer, around the reefer. Same thing around the back of the trailer. And then there's a 1-inch border that's needed on the black part as well. So all the way around in that same gold that's on the truck. So that'll frame it in nicely, and that'll kind of finish out the graphics on the trailer. So that's what Tony's going to be working on today. My plan is to finish the airlines. I got all the brakes finished underneath there. I still need to run some new airlines up to the front of the trailer. And then I also got to get going on the lights. So I got some new lights for the back here. I got to do the wiring. I got some bumpers that I need to put on. Now, these lights, I got some new reflectors that I'll swap out as well. I'm actually quite worried about these screws because there's no way those are going to come out of there. They've been rusted in there for 40 years. So I'm probably going to have to drill out most of them. And then for the lights, a lot of the newer trailers now, they have a cutout. So it's like a 2-inch cutout, and then it's a rubber grommet, and the light just kind of pops through there and sits in. But on these older trailers, they just had 2 screws, and the light casing was kind of mounted external. So some of them weren't working. Some of them I painted over right up there. And yeah, so I got to replace the lights. I was also looking at the movie, and there's a bunch of marker lights or clearance lights up high as well.
Went up to glory riding 18 wheels. Oh, tell me.
So there's a set of 3, 1 on each side, and I think I counted 13 amber marker lights, and then of course the red ones go on the back. Now, I was having a heck of a time trying to find those groat lights, and what I ended up doing was, out of all the places that I found them, I actually found them online. I was looking on eBay. So here's the lights, the newer style, and they just snap into a ring. So this case, I just got some new rings that I'll screw in to replace the back ones. Now, of course, these are LEDs, but I tried to go old school with the concentric circles. So those should look half decent and be nice and bright for safety. But again, getting back to the marker lights, I actually found them. Check these out. Even got the old school ribs on there. So there's two. There's the 45413s, which are amber, and then the 45412s, which are red. I mean, those are beautiful. So this is new old stock that Napa actually had around. So I ordered all they had in stock. And so now I've got movie correct, or at least period correct marker lights that I'm gonna put on there. So that's the plan. And of course I'll knock all my stuff off onto the floor. So I gotta put all that on there. These are the bumpers I was talking about. So there's a bunch of work, again, little stuff that I need to do in order to get the trailer finished. And then what my plan's gonna be is to spark up Snowman, drive it out, I'll drive it around, and then back it in and click it in. And who knows, we may even go for a little drive by the end of this episode. So we'll see how far we get. Oh yeah, that's really coming together. So Tony's actually just finishing up on the decal on this side. Hey Tony, looking good. And we've got just the one final, there's one more skinny panel just after that one. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a full-size panel. Come on, Mark, number 10. So yeah, once he finishes that up, what's remaining is trying to figure out the gold stripe. So as I was mentioning, there's the gold stripe that goes around the edge of the trailer. So we're gonna put a 1-inch stripe that frames that. And then around the front, obviously box that in and go all the way around. And then on the reefer shell, probably just around the edge. And then I was looking, I had to do a screen capture from the movie. And as you can see, the back of the trailer, it's just got the gold stripe. So that's the gold stripe we're thinking of doing, just a 1-inch strip there and a 1-inch strip there, and then just go all the way around. But on the back here, just do the same thing and box the doors on the box, each of the doors with the gold bar. Now again, I know there's 4, you don't have to type a comment, I've seen the movie.
You just leave a note and tell the folks to send the bill to Big Enos Burdette.
It's just got the 2 here. Now if I really wanted to, and my OCD takes over this winter, I could actually unbolt these and then paint them in the shop silver. Same silver as that. I think that might look pretty sharp. And then just bolt them back on, and then could take these off of here. But I don't know. I mean, where do you draw the line about doing it all the way? From my perspective, the fact that I got the corrugated or the rib sidewall, I'm not aware. Now I don't know if Brad Wilkes, he has got I would say a very close replica, similar to mine. He kind of went after the 73 truck as opposed to the 74 that I went after. So we'll call his the best 73 replica truck, and mine the best 74. But I can't recall if he's got the rib sidewalls. I'll have to go and dig up some pictures of his truck, but he's actually got a beautiful one in the States. I'm not aware of any replicas in Canada, so I think I've got the only one. And the fact that we've got the wheels at the back, the corrugated deal, the only thing that is really different is it's not a true Hobbs. And that's one thing that I'm actually missing is the Hobbs mud flaps. So I did find a place that can actually custom make them. Don't ask how much they were, because I've got to pay a one-time setup fee to actually get these made up. But I think if I remember right, the company name was USA Flap. So they were a great bunch of guys. They took some images that I got from the movie, and they mocked up a design for me. They won't be done in time for the show, unfortunately, but I will get them on eventually. So I did just get some standard black mud flaps that I'll throw on there. At least I've got something. And yeah, I guess I better get working here, because Tony's been killing himself getting this other side of the wrap on, and all he's got to do is the gold, and we can call that one done. So check that out. Look how that gold stripe just absolutely pops. Man, that stands out nice. So Tony's just finishing up, but you gotta see the front of this trailer. Unreal, Tony. That looks so good. Very kind of 70s-ish. But it's amazing how just a 1-inch stripe really changes the look and just kind of finishes it off.
Really tied the room together, did it not?
And look at that with the gold down the ribs. Oh, that's so awesome. All right, home stretch on the trailer. So I'm just seeing if I actually have enough airline. So I need to connect up the supply and then the application. So the 2 lines that'll run the brake pots there. So I think I should have enough. That one's a little long. And then I got one more. Looks like I need to buy another reel of airline. Oh yeah, I'll have enough before I get going on the Duke, because that's the end of what I got of 3/8. So okay, that should work. So now I just need to figure out what fittings I'm going to use here, and I'll hook these up. And now the ones that were on here were coiled. So essentially what you could do is, as you move the tandem set forward and aft, the lines would just kind of coil up and take up the slack and then just stretch out when you go all the way to the back. I don't foresee myself actually bringing them forward unless I was trying to get into some really tight space. I could bring the tandems forward and then the trailer would turn a little sharper. But I love the look of it all the way back, so I'm going to leave them there. So what I'll do is I'll just have the lines stretched right out, and then I don't know, there's no place to actually run them through, but I guess I could hang them from here and just zip tie them in. I don't know if that'll look that professional, but I think that's going to be the only way to do it. So I'll go ahead and get some fittings and make that happen. Oh, you can never have enough brass. So I've talked about it before. You can get different connections for these Fairview brass fittings, and the ones I like to use have the little coiled spring. So what it does is it helps to support the line so it doesn't pull on it and rip it out of there. Now you can get away with these fixed ones without the coil spring if they're straight on, but these ones are going to have a bit of a side load on it. But unfortunately I don't have any more of those spring-loaded ones, but I could always replace it, and another time it'll work for now. And I don't know if you could see in the time lapse, but it was interesting when I took because of course these tandems were taken out from whatever trailer that they were underneath, and they were just stored in a field, and I don't know, a little critter must have went in there and started making a nest or something, because there was a whole bunch of leaves and junk in the line there. So that's what I had to blow out. And then I thought, well, since I had these disconnected, I might as well blow them out all the way to the front. And yeah, no problems. The air was flowing nice. So with this, I think what I can do now is hook up, start up Snowman and bring it around and hook it up to the trailer and connect up the air lines to the truck and see if the brakes are actually going to release and then operate properly. There, good and tight. All right, give the old anti-smoke valve some air. Oh, it looks like the turbo is still spitting oil. Or slobbering fuel, one of the two. Coolant's good. All right. Okay. Let's see if she's gonna run. Oh, yeah. Oil. This makes me so happy. After all the hours and grinding and searching for all the parts and pieces, I finally got this thing together. Truck and trailer. Oh, tell me that that's not cool. I mean, come on. That is a work of art. Oh, man, I'm happy. Oh, yeah, it is. It's awfully cool when you have a dream and you got a vision in your head and you just grind away to make it happen. Man, that makes me smile. All right, Mark, stop admiring. Let's get those brake lines hooked up and see if the brakes work. All right, so I was just looking at the gap between the trailer and the truck, and a few astute viewers there commented that the gap's too big, it doesn't match the movie. And I could get on board with that. It actually is pretty far from the truck. I mean, you don't want to get it too close because you wouldn't want the reefer to actually hit the back of the bunk. But I think it can come forward a little. Now, the reason I had the fifth wheel all the way back was to pull my camper so none of that stuff in the back there swung and hit the camper when I made turns. But with a semi-trailer like this, obviously semi, however you want to say it, trailer like this, you could actually slide it forward. But the thing to do that, there's an air-operated switch in the dash, and I hadn't hooked the line up yet. I connected it there, and then for whatever reason, my ADHD got me going on something else, so I still need to connect that up. But then I could flip that switch in the dash. It would release the pins, and then I can back under and bring this a little closer. So I'll probably do that as well. But we'll go ahead and put these on there and see if I got the brakes right, because that's the most important part right now. I know Peg's making a joke as we speak. There. Yeah. Air it up and see what happens. All right, that's a good sign. It's getting air to the back. I opened both drain valves on the tanks just to blow out any dirt or water or junk that might be in there. So make sure air's coming out of both of them. Okay, so now that it's aired up, I'll just go pull the trailer spike and see if the brakes apply. Safety first. I've got now I haven't lifted the legs up, so that's, the trailer can't really go anywhere, but I've also got blocks under the wheels as well. But even so, it's still, you want to be safe when you're going underneath the trailer with the brakes off. So I had these set up at a quarter, and I wanted just to change them to a half off. So there's a quarter. Well, hang on, tight quarter back, and then we'll go one more quarter. Just because I think a half or a quarter might be a little tight with new brakes, is what one guy was commenting there, and I think he might be right. So there's a quarter, and there's half off. Okay, and now I'll slide underneath to check these ones, the front, which is always a treat. Oh, what's going on here? These ones are still applied. Why the hell are they still on and the back one's off? Okay, there's air in the tank. And air, I can't imagine the relays are plugged. Well, I guess they could be. But air is going past them to go to the back tank and the back relay. But I suppose that relay could be plugged. Yeah, because these guys aren't releasing. Oh man, it's always something, isn't it? Well, we'll try the old school trick. I don't know, maybe some dirt. Thing could have just seized up over time. I guess I can go get a new one of these. Because that's the only thing in line. See, the air is coming. The release for the park brakes coming in here, and of course it's a T, so it's just sending air back. But it's obviously allowing it, it's not in here because it's allowing it into the tank, and the tank's filling up. So I don't know why it's not letting it go through the other side and sending it down to the two lines that go to the park brakes. Yeah, that's weird. No, swing and a miss. So there must be something up with that relay. Okay. So I guess what I'll do is release the air, undo all my lines, and then run over to Fleet Brake and see if they've got one like this or something close like it. So I would call this thing pooched. I was contemplating taking it apart and cleaning it out, but now that I see that somehow, like I say, that plate opened up and they got a bunch of junk in there, it's probably just rusted right closed. Okay, I need a new line anyway for that. Oh, sweet. So Fleet Brake really hooked me up. Jesse there was able to find an exact replacement for this relay. Look at that. Perfect. So now what I need to do is obviously swap over all the brass. I'll take those off of there. And then I should be able to just jam this underneath there, hook up the lines, and then we'll air up the truck once again and see if that fixes the problem. But I'm pretty sure that will. Oh, what a treat it is to be down underneath here, tightening these lines again. Oh well, as long as this is the fix, I'm pretty sure it is. I have to believe that that was the reason air wasn't going down. I mean, these brake systems are pretty uncomplicated. But I'm sure a fan of these Fairview fittings because, as I mentioned, I don't know if you can see it there, but you can see this one obviously was on there, so the collar got crushed. But the cool part about these fittings is you can take them off if you need to change something, and then you can just put them right back on again because the collar's already crushed, and then just tighten this back up. Now, if you needed to run a new line, you could just have a new piece of line, or if you needed to cut that off of there and make it shorter, or like I say, a new line because you had a leak, you could just get a new collar. So it's always good to have some of this extra brass and collars and some 3/8 line underneath the little cubby in the bunk there. And that's another reason I like to standardize. Oh man, this is so brutal, this spot. I like to standardize on this stuff on the truck and the trailer. That way, if there's a problem, it doesn't take a whole bunch of different fittings to fix and maybe get going down the road again. Oh, that one wasn't even that tight. There we go. Okay. Now, I need to run the feed and supply lines and these smaller lines. These hard lines are the same idea, just on a smaller scale. Cut that off. There's a little dirt in there, and then yeah, it's just got a, oh, there's so little room in here, it's brutal. So you see there's a little collar, hopefully you can see that, and then it just tightens up against that. So, oh, oh man, this is awful. It just slides over, the little collar tightens up, or goes in there, and it'll just get crushed as I tighten the nut. All right, well, there's a job that I don't want to do again, and hopefully I don't have to. So I've run new lines. Everything should be good now. So what I'm doing is airing up the truck. Instead of burning dinosaurs, I thought I'd just use shop air, and we'll let the truck air up. Let's see how much we got in there. Oh, I got about 90. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Well, by golly, it looks like those have ratcheted forward. Maybe what I'll do is I'll throw this on the tripod and then go hit the spike. Yeah, these are still full on. What the hell is going on here? Okay, there's air. Doesn't make sense to me that the back ones would be releasing, but the front ones aren't. So tired of crawling underneath here. These front brakes have just been such a challenge. And look at the lengths I go through for movie correctness, because even though the trailer's not perfectly movie correct, I couldn't live with those Canadian spread axles. So I went through all the trouble to redo this tandem set and put it in there. And oh, what size wrench is this? Went through all that trouble, and now I can't seem to get these front brakes to release. It's so perplexing, because I could understand if the back brakes weren't releasing, because then there'd be some sort of problem maybe with the truck the way it's set up, but this is just silly. Okay, that released. Maybe what I'll do is I'll loosen them off. Oh man. Okay, what's going on? Oh no, something's buggered here. I wonder, are these slacks seized or something? Oh my god, because they're not budging. Get seized up, or how the hell would that have happened? Oh my god, Mark. I think I just realized what I did. That's application. Okay. Well, at least I figured it out. So what I did was, so the park brake, so on the brakes on the back, these are spun around, right? And the park brake, or the emergency chambers, are facing north, or facing that way out. So I guess my brain, I guess it's going a little soft in my old age. For some reason, I don't know, I must have thought that because the way the two are back there, the ones farthest back are the park brakes, whereas in this case, these chambers are turned around, so the ones farthest forward are the park brakes. So I've got these lines swapped. It's as simple as that. Oh man, well, that's embarrassing. That's almost as bad as when I put the air filters in upside down. Well, at least I figured it out. Do I get points for that?
You stupid idiot!
Well, all right, I'm gonna call that a win. Got all four brake pots working. Probably still need to go down there and just make sure the front ones are in adjustment, but I'm pretty happy with that. And I think I'm gonna wrap the episode up there. It's getting late in the day, and I think I'm gonna go in and have a bite to eat. But look at that wrap. I mean, that is just something else. Special thanks to Tony for taking the time to hand press that. on both sides. Now, he actually put the gold stripe on as well. Just need a little more. He's just got to come back and finish the gold along the top. And then we're going to call it a wrap on that. No pun intended. And yeah, I still can't believe. I know every morning I'm going to come out here and take a look at this and go, hey, that can't be real. There's a Smokey and the Bandit replica truck sitting on the driveway. I mean, that's just something else. So I am so happy with that. So thanks for watching all the way to the end. Really appreciate everyone's support. You know, feel free to comment down below, good, bad, or otherwise. I read them all. And yeah, if you wouldn't mind, hit the like button. That helps drive the old YouTube analytics and get it out there to more folks. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up there. Still a few more things to do before this thing gets on the road, but I'll get to that in the next episode. So hope to see you then. Oh yeah, and don't ever forget, if you got it, a trucker brought it.